All right, we're now marching in the streets of Salt Lake City to try to bring awareness to the serious abuse of children. It really is changing our society when a child gets abused. Did you know that 1 in 10 children is dropping out of school because of one reason? It's because they're being abused. Did you know that the incarceration rates go up for abused children, for both the perpetrator and the victim? That's got to end. Did you know that drug usage goes up for both the victim and the perpetrator? That's got to end. Did you know that there's both increased attempted and completed suicides because of abuse? This has got to end. We've got to do something. We can't just let this continue. We've got to do something. You know that the harm caused by bullying and childhood sexual abuse is so similar. The things I've listed are the harms. And who do you think's paying for that? Who's paying for a child with damaged mental health because they were abused? It's society's paying for that. Who's paying to incarcerate these children that have been harmed, that have damaged mental health? Society's paying for that. Who's paying for the hospital visits for attempted suicides? Society's paying for that. It's got to end. We've got to end. Who's paying for the drug usage and drug rehabs for children that have been harmed? Society's paying for that. And who's paying for the death of a child from suicide? It's parents like me who are paying for that. It's got to end. We've got to do something. This is a civil rights issue. When children are being harmed and people are looking away, adults are treated as a liability concern. My church treated it as a liability concern. After the death of my son, I was told that his death was a liability concern. That needs to end. School districts are doing the same thing around the country. That needs to end. Other churches are doing it. It's not just the Mormon Church. Jehovah's Witnesses are doing it as well, and so are the Catholics. And so are the Southern Baptists, and so all kinds of church. And why are they doing this? It's because abuse is a liability concern. They're listening to the attorneys. This is why children are not being protected, because they're listening to the attorneys. It needs to end. We need to start listening to public health officials and safety officials, mental health officials, not attorneys. When you listen to attorneys, children get harmed. They don't want a safe place for kids to report abuse. Because you know what, if there is a safe place and nobody does nothing to help them, it becomes a liability. They don't want instruction and training for adults on how to recognize and address abuse. Why don't they want that? Because if somebody somehow doesn't follow the written policy of the organization, it's a liability concern. They don't want to investigate abuse. To this day, the church has not investigated my son's abuse. It ended in his end-of-life decision. Why don't they want to investigate that abuse? Because to do so, they might find something, a negligence on their part. So they don't want to address abuse. The attorneys are dominating this conversation, and it needs to end. We need to change. We need new laws. We've got to do something different. But anyways, behind me you can see the march. I'm marching as I'm talking. You can see all the balloons and people. We're in Salt Lake. We're heading towards the Capitol building, and everybody get involved. We got to open our eyes. We can't look away. We can't sweep abuse under the rug anymore. We need to address it. We need new laws. We need new awareness. We need new policymakers. We need, in my case, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They're leaders. They're prophets, seers, and revelators. need to do something different. They need to adopt policies, doing the very things I just stated. You know, spent almost 2 years meeting with these church leaders. And you know how those meetings ended? Brother Bresee, there'll be no new policy. Why is that? You know who was there when they were telling me that? It's the church attorney was there while they were telling me that. It's all about the money. We're trading money for the lives of children. But ultimately it's costing us more money. Society has to cure all these ills. We've got to change. Society has to heal these ills. It's got to change. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the march here. You can see everybody marching, and this is in front of me. I'm going to turn it. You can see our goal is the Capitol building up there. So we still got a ways to go. You can see some of the signs. We really do have people from all different groups here. It's not just LDS. You can see there's some Jehovah's Witnesses. There's all kinds of people. But anyways, I'm going to let you go. You can get a good look one more time. Maybe we'll tap in again later. We'll see you later.